Let me just say, white people don't care if black people want to be left to their own devices. I promise you. It's so weird watching black people get mad at white people for starting functioning white communities. It's like, you know how happy we'd be to see black people start a functioning black community? Like, we would leave you to it. We would be, oh my goodness, good for you guys.
Wow, so not only are you dumb and uneducated and a bigot, you're also inefficient, because that was a lot of words to say. I'm a white supremacist and I'm okay with it. Let's talk about the history of white people just accepting black communities. 1873, Colfax, Louisiana. White mobs murdered 150 black men who were defending a Reconstruction era form of government, and it was a coup to seize political power away from black residents. 1898, Wilmington, North Carolina. White mobs overthrew the multiracial city government and then slaughtered dozens of black families and burned down their businesses. 1910, Slocum, Texas. White mobs attacked a prosperous black farming community out of racial and economic resentment, killed dozens, forced the survivors to flee, and stole their land. 1912, Forsyth County, Georgia. After a false rape allegation, white mobs terrorized and expelled all of the black residents, forcing those survivors to flee, and then seized their land and homes and redistributed it to a white community. And then in 1919, in Elaine, Arkansas, hundreds of black sharecroppers were murdered by white mobs and federal troops after they organized a union to demand fair wages. And in 1920, in OK, Florida, black citizens were massacred and their town was burned to the ground after they attempted to vote in a presidential election. And then in 1921, in Tulsa, Oklahoma, one of the wealthiest black communities that has ever existed was destroyed in a 2-day massacre where 35 blocks were destroyed and burned to the ground, and hundreds of black residents were killed. And then in 1923, in Rosewood, Florida, a self-sufficient black town was annihilated by white mobs after a false accusation, and survivors never could return. 1943, in Detroit, Michigan, racial tensions over housing and jobs, does that sound familiar, led to a deadly riot in which black neighborhoods were destroyed by law enforcement. And then in 1967, also in Detroit, Michigan, an uprising sparked by a police brutality incident was met with military force. They sicked the military on the black neighborhoods, killing 43 and accelerating the decline of black neighborhoods. And then in 1985, Philadelphia dropped a bomb on a black neighborhood because they had a black rights movement called MOVE in those houses. A peaceful liberation movement, and Philadelphia bombed it. And then you throw this little racist tidbit in there.
I would feel solidarity and pride with a 95% low crime, high productivity black city, or several in the United States.
Because the implication here is that black people shouldn't have their own neighborhoods because it'll be riddled with crime, even though that doesn't address over-policing and poverty, and there's no white neighborhood that has a 5% crime rate, even though you're trying to paint white people in this amazing good light. You're a white supremacist, because the rest of us white people who are pissed about whites-only residences are the people who aren't racist pieces of shit. You can't connect the dots if you don't know where the dots fucking are. Think before you speak.